I'm standing on a new bike and pedestrian bridge that opened about 2 weeks ago in the city ranked #1 in France for bikeability. A city which recently ranked #1 in the world in terms of quality of life. Bienvenue à Grenoble. Welcome to Grenoble. If you're considering a move to France and factors like world-class public transit and a top-tier lifestyle index are important to you, this city should be on your radar. I'm Susie, I'm American, and I've lived in Dijon, France since 2008, and I know that being #1 on paper doesn't necessarily tell the whole story about what it's like to live somewhere. All right, let's go.
A little background on Grenoble. It is in the Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes region of France and is the second largest metropolitan area in its region. It is the capital of the Département de l'Isère, which is number 38, an important number to remember for later. As I mentioned, Grenoble scored first in a major quality of life survey recently in 2024, not in France, but in the world. According to this source, the score is driven by Grenoble's high income equality and multitude of recreation and cultural sites per person. The city's proximity to the Alps gives it a pristine setting for outdoor recreational activities, which it couples with a variety of museums, festivals, and other offerings. And last year in 2025, it scored third in terms of quality of life in the same survey. In the 2026 Arthur Lloyd rankings, Grenoble was ranked third best large metropolis in France behind Montpellier and Rennes. On the comparison website Ville de Rêve, Grenoble's pluses are mentioned as being its accessibility, sport, and education, and yet Ville de Rêve ranks Grenoble 19th out of 21 among big French cities. Sécurité is mentioned as a drawback, which we are going to come back to in a minute. Let's talk about climate and weather. We arrived on a sunny Saturday in March, and I was mistakenly under the impression that we would have nice weather all weekend. So Saturday we sort of poked around, taking our time, exploring, not realizing the weather was going to take a turn for the rainy and cold. I really wanted to test out their renowned bike infrastructure, but I hadn't even brought a raincoat. So to cope with the rain on Sunday, we tried to do everything we could think of to kill time, hoping the rain would stop. We walked around in the rain, took the tram in the rain, took the historic 1934 téléphérique up to the top of the Bastille in the rain, couldn't even get a great view over the city from up there because of the cloudiness. Then we decided to have lunch, but even after lunch, it was still just so cold and rainy. So we drove to the bike bridge that I'd wanted to shoot the opening scene of this video on. And there was no one there using the new, cool infrastructure. The weather was just so bad. I did get to look through a few coffee table books at our hotel that contained lots of lovely shots of a sunny Grenoble. It was nice to picture what it must be like when the weather is decent. Oh well, as I have said before, perhaps it's a good idea to consider what a place is like even when the weather isn't cooperating. And it was March after all. In general, according to this map, the Isère département isn't excessively foggy, especially compared to what I'm used to here in Dijon, and it looks like it gets a decent amount of sunlight based on this map. Moving on to transportation, we did test out the tram, which was super easy and fun. You know I love trams. I paid for my ride by tapping my phone at this terminal. You need to validate your ride before getting on the tram. There were also these distributors at all stops, and one ride was €2. There were a variety of different styles of trams, and the system was extremely easy to use. We checked out train connections from inside the train station and found that it takes about 3 hours and 40 minutes to get to Paris with a connection, or about 3 hours on a direct fast train. To get to Lyon was about an hour and 20 minutes, and to get to Roissy-Charles de Gaulle, the international airport in Paris, it takes about 4 hours with one connection. There were also direct trains to Saint-Exupéry Airport in Lyon, which take 1 hour. In front of the train station, there were tons, and I mean tons, of these yellow Métro Vélo bikes. The Métro Vélo rental agency was right there as well. We were going to rent yellow bikes. That was our original plan. And then as a concession to the horrible weather, we downloaded the Voix app, and we were going to instead test out a pink electric Voix bike. Voix also operates electric scooters, which we saw scattered all over the city as well. I desperately wanted to check out the bike infrastructure since Grenoble scores an A on the bikeability survey. An A. It is the city ranked the highest in France for bikeability. This was the first time we were visiting a city that has scored an A. And I not only wanted to try out the new bike bridge, but I also wanted to test out their Chrono Vélo, a network of fast, protected cycling highways designed to let commuters travel quickly across the city and surrounding area by bike without interruption from vehicular traffic, if I understand the concept correctly. But, dear viewer, I couldn't bring myself to get on a bike in such meteorological conditions. I am sorry. I feel like I have let you down. If I had just had my waterproof poncho, I would have done it. But I couldn't bring myself to get on a bike in these conditions in just a flimsy wool coat. You know, I'm not scared of biking in the rain or the snow or the dark, but I just didn't have it in me because I wasn't properly equipped for the challenge. I'm a cycliste en carton, as they say, a cardboard biker, a fake biker, so to speak. Please forgive me. I will try to remember to pack my poncho the next time we visit a city that has excellent bike infrastructure and the weather forecast looks iffy. I did notice plenty of brave people biking in the rain, and we tried to pay attention to the types of bike paths we saw. We saw some protected and some unprotected bike lanes. For example, this one starts off buffered and then rises up onto the sidewalk for more protection. Also, in my research, I found that Grenoble metropolitan area gives subsidies for people who qualify to help them buy bikes, which I thought was very cool. Walking around the historic city center, there wasn't too much car traffic and I felt safe, but Grenoble only scored a D, or moyennement favorable, moderately or somewhat favorable, on the walkability survey. We did notice cities car share cars everywhere. Usually when we're on the ground doing one of these city visit videos, I have to search them out, check my city's app, and make a special concerted effort to go find them. Not in Grenoble. They kept springing up all over the place, which I take as a good sign. And speaking of driving, Grenoble ranks 12th in France on the TomTom traffic index. So let's get into what I think you'll consider to be two of the biggest concerns or drawbacks: the worrying crime stats and the relatively poor air quality. In terms of crime, even before we left for Grenoble, when I was just talking about our upcoming visit there with acquaintances, people kept mentioning that it was considered dangerous, and that came up again when I was doing my research. For example, on Ville de Rêve, Grenoble scored 13 out of 100 in terms of sécurité. So I decided to dig a little deeper. First, I found a bunch of articles covering the issue, and then I used Numbeo to compare crime rates between Grenoble and Dijon, my home city, which I find relatively pretty safe. But I wanted more than just people's impressions. I really wanted to see the actual crime stats. So eventually I found this resource called the Service Statistique Ministériel de la Sécurité Intérieure, SSMSI. And we see the stats here for different types of crimes on the département level, but you can zoom in and see the stats on the municipal level as well. Apparently, the elevated figures are largely driven by drug-related gang violence concentrated in specific neighborhoods, while the city center is considered relatively safe for everyday life. We did notice a lot of graffiti and some people driving quite aggressively at times. I certainly felt safe there as a visitor for the weekend, but I would love to know what people who have more experience with Grenoble think and what your experiences have been. So definitely don't hesitate to share those in the comments below. We did actually speak to several local people while we were there, and crime came up without me even asking about it. Both of the people who mentioned it to me said themselves that it was concentrated in certain neighborhoods. The other issue that you might want to consider is that Grenoble ranks quite low in terms of air quality. Even when we were there, I saw this digital billboard in town, for example, informing locals of the average moyen air quality that day. And if you check out the European Environment Agency's City Air Quality Viewer, which I always do, Grenoble ranks 61st out of 68 in French cities in terms of air quality. So it's interesting and a bit hard to reconcile this crime and air quality data with Grenoble also being ranked number 1, now number 3 in the world for quality of life. Real quick, if you're planning a move to France and the logistics feel overwhelming, I'm here to help. If you feel like you have a million questions, you can book a one-on-one consultation call with me to map out your specific move. And for those of you who are curious about my lovely home city of Dijon, we have a short-term rental unit right behind our house that you can come and stay in, and I offer private one-on-one tours of Dijon. It's a personalized 4-hour tour where I'll use my on-the-ground knowledge as an American living here since 2008 to explain key neighborhoods, essential services, and transit options, so you can decide for yourself if Dijon is right for you. Links for everything are in the video description below. By the way, my elusive French husband, that's him with the white umbrella, has officially agreed to show his face on this channel and maybe even to actually speak but only after we hit 20,000 subscribers. So if you want to meet the man who's usually behind the camera, make sure to hit that subscribe button. All right, back to Grenoble. Okay, let's take a look at healthcare next. According to this map, the Isère département has an average to slightly above average number of general practitioners per 100,000 people, and an average to slightly below average number of specialists compared to averages for other parts of France. Grenoble has a major university teaching hospital, the CHU Grenoble Alps, and other hospitals as well. Let's move on to real estate. When I checked on the real estate website Meilleur Agent, I found that the average price per square meter to buy an apartment in Grenoble is 2,568 euros per square meter, which is pretty on par with Dijon, for example. We certainly saw a plethora of for sale and for rent signs when we were just walking around. And in terms of the evolution of real estate prices, Grenoble's prices haven't increased as much relatively as many of the other big French cities in the past 20 years, according to this data. Taking a look at the tensiomètre locatif, which is meant to give us an idea of what the rental market is like, it looks like it's relatively easy to find a rental in Grenoble. Also, we noticed a lot of modern housing, this type of modern construction that I assume is well insulated. I think many of the buildings have underground parking, and many of the units have outdoor spaces. And I assume many of the buildings have other modern amenities like elevators. And we saw this both in the city center and on the outskirts of town as well. I personally absolutely see the appeal of this type of what I assume is comfortable urban living. We also noticed a lot of ongoing construction. My husband said he felt like the whole city was a chantier, a construction site. And we had lunch on Saturday at a rooftop restaurant called Radish, or Bar Radis, which was in a neighborhood that felt very new. I think it was called the Quartier Flaubert, but also very pleasant and tram accessible. And from there, we could see cranes near and far. All right, let's talk vibes. I didn't know how to categorize all of these topics together. First, Grenoble has over 57,000 university students and was ranked among the top 10 cities in France in which to study. Grenoble is said to be a very sporty city, which we certainly saw. We saw brave souls out jogging on Sunday despite the rain and the cold. And I thought this vending machine in the train station that was selling weightlifting gloves and bathing caps was maybe a symbol of this sporty culture. We were able to visit one of the markets called Les Halles Sainte-Claire on Sunday morning, which was right in the city center and bustling despite the awful weather. This shot is, I think, very representative of how Grenoble felt to me. Everything felt pretty human-sized and accessible. The tram glided elegantly in front of the market and through downtown while people were bravely out shopping despite the rain. And in terms of overall vibes, both my husband and I thought that Grenoble reminded us a bit of Lyon. Colorful architecture, winding medieval streets, and a river. Saturday, we came across this percussion group performing during what I think was some type of carnival event for kids. One surprising thing we noticed was public urinals. We walked by this one and it really stunk, but I was so surprised we filmed it from two angles. And then we passed another one in the car. Look quick, there's even someone using it, but I couldn't tell if it smelled equally bad. I assume it did. All right, now let's talk about tourism a little bit. The Toury score is designed to measure the level of over-tourism and its negative impact on residents in French towns and cities, and Grenoble scores a C. We didn't feel like Grenoble itself was overrun with tourists while we were there, but we did experience traffic jams that my husband attributed to people heading to the mountains to ski. So that was one impact of tourism that we did sense. The advantage is that there are ski resorts, which are quite close by. Bigger resorts like Alpes d'Huez and Les Deux Alpes are only about an hour and a half away, for example. We happened to be in Grenoble the same weekend that my sister-in-law Charlène and my brother-in-law Jean-Baptiste were there for a wine salon. You remember my brother-in-law, winemaker Jean-Baptiste, from the video we filmed in his vineyards, maybe? So Saturday evening, we met up with them and generally enjoyed our time in Grenoble. But overall, I feel like we didn't get to spend enough time there, and I didn't get to test enough of the infrastructure like I usually like to do when we do these city visits. I'm a bit frustrated, and I hope that we'll have a chance to go back one day. But in the meantime, I'm counting on those of you who have experience in Grenoble to tell us all more about your experiences in the comments below.
If you're planning a scouting trip to France yourself or just have a million questions about a potential move, all of the ways that I can help are linked in the video description below. Also below is a link for my free email newsletter that you can sign up for if you'd like to receive more practical information about life in France. If you're interested in comparing Grenoble to other cities like Nancy, Strasbourg, and Reims, my husband and I have visited those cities as well and made videos about them, and I'll link to the playlist here that you can check out. Thank you so much for watching today, and until the next time, à bientôt!
And here it is, your moment of zen, me expressing my frustration at the weather through sarcasm en français.
C'est fou, on est là, il y a personne. C'est un grand succès, ce pont. Les Grenoblois, ils apprécient énormément.